Hey guys, welcome back to Big K Crypto. Today is going to be another addition to my Bitcoin Basics series, and I'm basically going to explain to you what Bitcoin is, okay? Bitcoin for dummies, all right, explained. I'm not suggesting in any way, shape or form that you're a dummy. To be honest, the fact that you're actually here is a point to prove that you're not a dummy, right? And you're taking the right steps to your future. Some people do find it quite difficult to understand just the basic concepts of Bitcoin. So I'm going to be doing an explanation that even a 5-year-old can understand, right? So if you still can't figure out what Bitcoin is, this simple explanation for a 5-year-old may help you. So let's just start with this scenario. We're sitting on a park bench, right? Lockdown's finished, we're enjoying the sun, and it's a great day. I've got a sandwich in my hands, and you're hungry. You want the sandwich, so I give it to you. You now have one sandwich, and I have 0. Quite simple, right? So let's look closely at what's happened. My sandwich was physically put into your hands. You know it happened. I was there, you were there, you touched it. We didn't need a third person there to help us make that transfer. We didn't need to bring in Uncle Dave, who's a famous judge, to sit with us on the bench and confirm that the sandwich went from me to you. That sandwich is yours. I can't give you another sandwich because, well, I don't have any left. I can't control it anymore. The sandwich left my possession completely, and you now have full control over that sandwich. You can give it to your friend if you want, and that friend can give it to his friend, and so on. Or you can just eat it. So that's what an in-person exchange looks like. I guess it's really the same whether I'm giving you a banana, a book, a quarter, a pound, or a dollar bill. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go back to the sandwich. Now, let's say I have one digital sandwich. Here, I'll give you my digital sandwich. Now, this is where it gets interesting, guys. How do you know that that digital sandwich, which used to be mine, is now yours, and only yours? Think about it for a second. It gets a bit more complicated, right? How do you know that I didn't send that sandwich to my Uncle Dave as an email attachment first? Or I didn't give it to your friend, or my friend? Maybe I made a couple of copies of that digital sandwich on my computer. Or maybe I put it up on the internet and a few 100,000 people downloaded it. As you can see, the digital exchange can be a bit of a problem. Sending digital sandwiches doesn't look like sending physical sandwiches. Some brainy computer scientists actually have a name for this problem, and it's called the double spending problem. But don't worry about it. This is the explanation for a 5-year-old. All you need to know is that it's confused them for quite some time, and they've never solved it, until now. But let's try and think of a solution of our own. Maybe these digital sandwiches need to be tracked in a ledger. And you know what a ledger is, right? It's basically a book where you track all transactions coming in and going out. Basically like an accounting book. So this ledger, since it's digital, needs to live in its own world, and someone has to be in charge of it. So just like, let's take as an example, World of Warcraft. Blizzard, the guys who created the online game, have a digital ledger of all the rare flaming fire swords that exist on their system. So cool, someone like them could keep track of our digital sandwiches. Awesome, we solved it. Well, no, there's a bit of a problem though. What if the same guys over at Blizzard created more? He could just add a couple of digital sandwiches to his balance whenever he wants. That's not right. Also, it's not the same as when we were on the bench that day. It was just you and me then. Going through Blizzard is like pulling Uncle Dave, remember who's the third party here, out of court. Don't forget he's a famous judge for all of our park bench transactions. How can I just hand over my digital sandwich to you in the usual way? Is there any way to closely replicate our park bench transaction digitally? Seems kind of tough. So let's go to the solution. What if we were to give this ledger to everybody? Instead of the ledger living on a Blizzard computer, it will live in everybody's computers. All the transactions that have ever happened from all of time in digital sandwiches will be recorded in it. You can't cheat it. I can't send you digital sandwiches I don't have, because then it wouldn't sync up with everybody else in the system. And it would also be a tough system to beat, especially if it got really big. Plus, it's not controlled by one person, so I know there's no one that can just decide to give himself more digital sandwiches, no matter how greedy they are. The rules of the system were already defined at the beginning, and the codes and rules are open source, kind of like the software used in your mum's Android phone, or kind of like Wikipedia. It's there for smart people to maintain, secure, improve, and check. You can participate in this network too, updating the ledger and making sure that it all checks out. For your troubles, you can get something like, let's say 25 digital sandwiches as a reward. In fact, that's the only way to create more digital sandwiches in the system. So I've simplified it quite a bit, but the system I explained exists. It's called the Bitcoin protocol, and those digital sandwiches are the Bitcoins within the system. Fancy that. Now, what does the public ledger enable? Well, for one, it's open source, remember? So the total number of sandwiches were defined in the public ledger at the beginning. I know the exact amount that exists. Within the system, I know that they are limited. 2, when I make an exchange, I now know that digital sandwich certifiably left my possession and is now completely yours. I used to not be able to say that about digital things. It will be updated and verified by the public ledger. And finally, 3. Because it's a public ledger, I don't need Uncle Dave, that third party, to make sure I didn't cheat or make extra copies for myself or send sandwiches twice or 3 times. Within the system, the exchange of a digital sandwich is now just like the exchange of a physical one. It's now as good as seeing a physical sandwich leave my hand and drop into your pocket. Just like on that park bench, the exchange involved 2 people only, you and me. We didn't need Uncle Dave there to make it valid. In other words, it behaves like a physical object. But you know what's cool? It's still digital. We can now deal with 1,000 sandwiches, or 1,000,000 sandwiches, or even 0.000001 sandwiches. I can send it with a click of a button, and I can still drop it in your digital pocket, even if I was in the Antarctic and you were all the way in South Africa. I can even make other digital things right on top of these digital sandwiches. It's digital after all. Maybe I can attach some text to it, or a digital note. Or maybe I can attach more important things, like say a contract or a stock certificate or an ID card. So this is great. How should we treat or value these digital sandwiches? They're quite useful, aren't they? Well, a lot of people are arguing over that now. There's debate between this and the economic school, between politicians, between programmers. Don't listen to all of it though. Some people are smart, some people are misinformed. Some say the system is worth a lot, some say it's actually worth 0. Someone can actually put a hard number on it, let's say $1,300 per sandwich. Some say it could be digital gold. Some say it's currency. Others say they're just like flowers. Some people say it will change the world, and some people just say it's a fad. I have my own opinion about it, and that's for another video for another time. So, there you go. I think even my 7-year-old nephew could understand that analogy. Hope you enjoyed the video. Smash the likes, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers!